coffee. Whoops. So I'm dubbing the very first tape, 1989. Wow. And you know, my illustrious career when I was floundering around in college, not knowing what I really wanted to do, whether it was going to be an art major or a drafting major because it was more practical. A friend of mine introduced me to another friend. His name is Mark, and he was working at a student-run or a program run for students called Student Cable Network. And essentially what it was cable stations, when they had a franchise in a town, which meant they had a monopoly, they had to make an agreement with the town to provide public access service so that the public could express their opinions, do programs, things like that, things that were important to the community. And quite often these things were half-heartedly done. Well, Central Missouri State University at the time decided it wanted in on that kind of deal, and so in order for the cable station to provide a franchise, a monopoly to all the students, they had to provide a channel for the university so that students can use it. And the deal was that only the students could really use it, and that was sort of lukewarmly applied, honestly. But that's another story. Anyway, I go in, and I was really into music, wanted to play in a band and stuff, so my friend said, well, you can do a show on local bands. All right, so we did the show. We called it Scene 6. SCN with 2 E's and the word 6, because 6 was the channel number of the student cable network in the dorms. And the very first band we ever did, I thought it was January 1989, but actually apparently it was February, according to my thing on my label on my tape. It was a band called Mickey Rat. It was this new band. They were pretty talented, cover band. I'm not so fond of cover bands. They tended to play a lot of the same songs over and over and over again. That gets really boring really fast, especially when you're standing there with a video camera. And that first night, it was pretty cold. We took all the equipment that we could, some not very portable, and took it apart and took it over there to a bar called the Mule Skinner. Mule Skinner no longer exists. The Mule Skinner was nestled in the territory of the university. It was right across the street from the I forget the name of that class building, but it's where they teach teachers and nurses and stuff. It's right across the street on McGuire Street, or US 13, now I guess Business 13, because they've bypassed downtown, or bypassed the city of Warrensburg. And it was run by a woman and her daughters. Daughters were actually young kids. I can't remember. It was something, the husband wasn't present. He was away. Let's just leave it at that. He was away. I mean, they were still happily married and everything, but the husband was not able to be a part of it. And I can't remember her name. It was Michelle. I can't remember. Anyway, so that year, 1989, was my last year of college before I went into the Air Force. I still didn't know what I really wanted to do. And I was a co-op student at Whiteman Air Force Base, working as a draftsman. And, you know, I got really involved in this. I decided I really like video. I like documenting things. I like covering events. I like music, art, culture, and so this was the first band that we did. And then we did another band called Rockin' Billy, not Rockabilly, Rockin' Billy, because the singer, the guy who started the band, his name was actually Willie, but he called himself Billy Woods. And then I have that somewhere, and I think it's online even. And then there was this band that played that I really liked, and I get to show off how little I knew about shooting video, my lousy camera work. And that was in April, and I just took the portable camera. It was a pretty nice camera. It was a Panasonic, but it had the separate deck and everything. It was much better than the tube cameras I was shooting on later. And the band was called the Indigos from Chicago, and they were hired by the student union activities to play. There were several acts that were playing at that thing. There was a psychic and, you know, different things, and they played on the lawn of the student union. Yeah, that's a little bit of my history and how I got into video production. And yeah, pretty boring. I better stop it now. It's getting long.